Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the BBTV network. Can you remember that song, that wet song, Love is All Around Us? I won't try and sing it because, you'd turn off too quickly. Well, what else is all around us? It's AI or artificial intelligence. It's almost mind-boggling what it's achieving and where it is. Now, I've also been long an advocate of connecting. It's much better and more rewarding than the coldness of networking. And until now, I was unsure how it could work in our new normal virtual world. But a homegrown enterprise, and I say this as a proud North of Englander, called Meow, formed by two Yorkshire guys, is setting the world alight with their AI-based video networking platform. It seems to me ideal for connecting and even learning to connect, especially in this new work from home situation we find ourselves, but also experiencing how connecting can build beneficial business relationships. So in true connecting fashion, I'm going to take you to meet both of the Meow entrepreneurs today. We'll meet Chris Rabbit later on, but first, let's get the lowdown on Meow from Simon Glenn. Welcome, Simon.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Excellent. And I said to you beforehand, just as we went live, the sunshine came on in here in Northumberland. I want to thank you for that, Simon.
Well, I'd love to claim responsibility for that. I'm not entirely sure. Little ray of sunshine is not something I'm often credited with.
Though I think, to many people with Meow, you will be bringing a bit of a ray of sunshine because it can get quite lonely, can't it, in lockdown and not meeting people.
Correct. I just thank God that brought that sunshine to you. I thank God that lockdown came when it did. If we were going to have it at all, have it now, because I haven't really set foot out of the house much in the last 12 months. But I haven't felt it too much myself because of the amount of work I've had on, helped, but also the fact that we can speak to people so easily these days. It buggers me how we never got to this in the first place. How long has this tech been around? And we all just went around going la 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 la.
Yeah.
That was the catalyst for Meow, really. The embarrassment that I felt when one of my friends told me how much money he'd saved just in business expenses after the first month of lockdown. It was eye-watering. We should have been doing this a hell of a long time.
Of course, and we would have grown our businesses faster as well, and I think would have been more prepared for the pandemic. Simon, I'm delighted that you and Chris have kindly agreed to guest today on our BVTV network to tell us about Meow, which I guess viewers and listeners are already puzzling about the name. But Meow's short for something, isn't it? And how did you arrive at the name?
It was driven mainly by the inevitable hunt for available domains that we all find ourselves in these days. Oh, I've got a great idea, and I've got a great name. I'll go and get the domain right now, and of course, you need the .com.
Yeah.
Oh, it's taken. Oh, I've got another great idea. Oh, that's taken. I've got another. No, just keep round the houses. I didn't manage to get the .com. But even for this name, but I was thinking meet now, because that's exactly what you do on Meow. Is click the button once every hour, click the button, meet new people, meet now, perfect name. And then I thought, I can't remember what it was that there was a catalyst to creating. I learned a new word during lockdown, Malcolm. It's portmanteau.
Oh, that's rather posh for Bradford. That's a posh word. Yeah,
sounds like something you'd pick up in a boulangerie, doesn't it? But,
yes.
A portmanteau is the joining together of two things to make something new. And don't write in if I got the dictionary definition wrong.
Yeah.
It's meet now joined together to make Meow, which is why it's got two E's. So again, don't write in to tell me I've spelt meow wrong.
Okay, so you don't have to be a cat lover to be able to use Meow, is that correct?
No, we said from the very beginning that we were going to avoid any references to cats, apart from when we start pushing heavily into Japan, where I believe any kind of cat reference is actually a massive big tick in the let's use it box, at which case it will become all about cats.
Oh, quite right. Look, viewers and listeners, in my chat with Simon, I want to find out how three things across three parts: how Meow works, the techie AI bit, and the personal safety bit. So, Simon, let's start our talk in part one. Your website's pretty clear, very clear to follow, but tell us how Meow works and why just 4 people? Can you use it anywhere, on any type of computer, even a smartphone?
Right. So the 4 people part of it was driven by my incredulity at just how badly directly transferring traditional networking, which is all about, of course, all about scale. Get as many people in the room as possible, and therefore the most potential comes thereof.
But that's stupid, isn't it? Because you can only ever meet 5 or 6 people.
Correct. Now, all right, you get more people in one space, and if you mingle a lot, you might find somebody interesting or nobody interesting. But when you transfer that online, it just falls apart. A few people had put on kind of knee-jerk networking events, for want of a better word, very, very early on in lockdown, and being in a room with 25 people or more, especially if you've all got your mic switched on, I mean, that's an utter waste of time, because nobody knows when to speak. There's either cacophony or silence, because everybody's trying to like that. And then the alternative, of course, is the Muppet Show, where you've got 60 people all in one room, all on mute. Well, that's conducive to conversation now, isn't it? So I was thinking, this can't be the way. This cannot be the way. And being a previously dedicated BNI member, I knew that the power of a one-to-one is even greater if you engaged in a one-to-more. I have to credit BNI with that. And their rule is that you have never have more than 4 people in a one-to-more. So I thought, I reckon Zoom can handle a 4-person meeting. Microphone switched on, plenty of opportunity to chat, take it over an hour, everything's good. And that was the first driver, was the ridiculous situation we all found ourselves in just either staring at each other or shouting at each other, one or the other. It was never seemed to find the middle ground. And I just wanted to speak to people, because I knew that networking's been my conduit to new business for the last 7 years. Lost without it, quite frankly. So I thought I just need to speak to as many people as I can. And if I spend an hour every day speaking to 3 new people, or even people I already know, bearing in mind I use my LinkedIn account as my marketing tool, I did find I was speaking to people I already knew as well. And I thought, if I do it every day, then that is going to, allow me to find the work that is out there. Being a graphic designer, I could quite easily work from home, and I thought I just need to do as much of it as I can and find the work. And guess what? It worked. I genuinely wasn't thinking about, can I make a business out of this? It was purely to keep my brand boy design business going through the 12 weeks of lockdown.
Only 12? Only 12?
Wow.
Were you taking the rest of the 40 off, were you?
I know. Yeah. I've never been that optimistic, but even I was thinking 12. Can't go on for 12 weeks. God, man, the place will fall about around our ears. But yeah, been a while now, isn't it? But after that first month of lockdown, it became clear that this should be a permanent fixture. This is something that works.
Well, I quite agree with you, because, I used to present networking, or connecting in our case, events around the world. And suddenly all of that stopped last March. But since then, I've done 500 plus of these interviews. And that, to me, is, as you quite rightly say, a much closer relationship. But I'm talking to people I would never have been able to get into beforehand. I'm talking about Hollywood stars, CEOs of 190,000 employees and people like that. Do you think that's where some of the connecting benefits of what Meow's about can really help you.
Well, I have to say, Malcolm, you've outdone us on the Hollywood Stars thing. I don't think we've managed to get anybody like that on yet. But we have been having reports from our Meowists, for that is what they are called. Our Meowists are doing incredible business in places that other networking cannot reach, to mince an advertising line rather badly. We've got people in a particular girl in Bristol who's been on, and she's found 2 clients in the States. That would never have happened.
No,
would never have happened before lockdown. You know, Meow would not have ever worked before lockdown, because people, even I, would have poo-pooed the idea. You know, networking online, that must be crap. But when you're forced to stare a problem in the face and find a solution, isn't it amazing how adaptable we are, Malcolm?
Oh yeah, the versatility of CEOs in particular we found. When we started last March, I was interviewing some CEOs who wouldn't appear in front of the camera unless they had a PA on one side and a techie person on the other.
Wow.
Yeah, now that's completely changed. And I was interviewing this billionaire the other week there from his villa in France, and he was just on an iPad chatting away to me as though I was his long lost mate type of thing. You would never have got that, would you? You've never have got no.
When you watch the news and you've got the cabinet all looking at you, in the Muppet Show on Zoom. What's the world come to? But I think it's a great step forward. Appearances and the fluff around presentation seems to have been excused, and I think we're getting more to the honesty of things and people just being more open. I think it's great.
Yeah, that is a really important point, because networking, and I'd say I've chaired some big ones around the world there, and it can often be quite false. And you get the card shop, coming around with his business cards, and you get everybody else there. I think you get a genuine connection with this type of approach that in essence we're doing now.
Yeah. I mean, it's very unrehearsed, isn't it? I mean, on Meow, at least, you get 2 minutes to present, and then it is just conversation. There's no structure beyond that. So the only bit you could possibly rehearse, if you were going to rehearse any of it, and I never do, is your 2 minutes. The rest of it, you have to wing it. You have to be yourself. You have to open up. Unless you're just going to sit there and say note, then you've got to be open to conversation, question, challenge, whatever happens in a meeting.
And as we say up north, shy bands get out. Right. Simon, before we move to part 2, I'd like to remind viewers and listeners of your URL, which you can see on the screen behind me, viewers, and I haven't got it wrong. It's .co, so it's Meow. Listeners, I better spell that out for you. MEEOW.co, meow.co. Right, Simon.
Can I just make an absolute travesty of what you've just said,
Go on.
Malcolm? Only yesterday we bought the .com. Because we've been invested, we now have the money, and we've just paid £6,500 for a domain name.
Yeah, thank you for that. It took me a while to get it and to bank it. So are we going to keep with meow.co, or do you want people to remember meow.com?
You better leave it as it is for now. We will be redirecting, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, right. Okay, time for part 2, Simon. What's the importance of AI, artificial intelligence, in Meow? How does it improve the connecting experience? Because it seems to me that everyone is throwing AI into their sales pitch these days without really explaining how it works and why it's needed. So what does AI do for Meow customers?
I'll admit AI is now a buzzword or a buzz acronym, but it's valid. It's valid in most cases, I find. So in Meow's case, artificial intelligence is about improving the matches that we make through the platform
Right.
Probably be advantageous for me to explain how Meow works so that what I'm about to say makes sense. So on Meow, at the moment, we launched 2 weeks ago, and it's a 24-hour networking platform. Admittedly, at the moment, it's not full 24 hours because we have only just started. But the idea is that there will never be an hour-long slot. Every Meow starts on the hour and lasts an hour. There will never be an hour slot closed to you. There's no booking up. There's no limit to the number of people who can network at any one time. If 1,000 people turn up at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, we will filter those 1,000 people into 250 rooms of 4.
Right.
That's how it operates. So when the AI comes in, is working out which of those 1,000 people should be grouped in 4s, and we will use a number of different types of data to make that choice. So there's the information that subscribers give us when they first join up.
Yep.
There's any they add on afterwards into their profile. After each meow, there is a feedback section with just a simple 5-star rating or rating out of 5 for each person that you've met. And this is not a beauty parade. It's not a popularity competition. It's merely for you to tell us how relevant you found that person from a communication point of view, from a likely referral point of view, from a friendliness point of view. You know, just how much would you like to meet another person who is that type of person? But also, we are, as part of the UX, we are transcribing every conversation for the subtitles underneath each person's video window for anybody that's hard of hearing, or anybody that wants to take notes. And we will be using that anonymized conversational data and using Amazon Web Services, very popular AI engine, to crunch the numbers, crunch the data, and again use that in that stack of 1,000 people, based on natural language, keywords used, interests, that kind of thing, and use that to bring together the best 4s that we can. So it's about improving the people that you meet, the connections that we put you in front of.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that going around, the connecting bit. But it's very important for us when we're putting together people in groups of 4, and you can meow whenever you like. So it's very important that we get you in front of the right people. Yeah. We don't want to walk away from our original theory, which was the magic of random, because that's how Meow has been functioning for the last 12 months. It's just been 4 people getting together completely at random, without any AI or anything playing a part, in a Zoom room. That's how we ran it. Started with 5 meetings a week, finished with 58. With 28 volunteer hosts, and that was purely random, and people dropped into a room without any engineering whatsoever and still found fabulous opportunities.
Right. Okay.
Great connections.
Yeah.
So the AI can only improve upon that.
Right. Yeah. And it's constantly, the system's constantly learning, so it's going to improve the experience for your customers, isn't it? Yep.
Correct. In the spirit of being brutally honest, from the get-go, the AI will not be playing a huge part in the matching process, because AI only functions when you have data to work with. Yeah. And as it's a brand new platform, we don't have that much data yet. But it will improve as time goes on and more people use it and you use it more. Eventually, it will start to play a greater and greater part in that matching process. I'm with you. Okay. Thanks, Simon. Now for part 3 then. Personal safety. Quite rightly, personal safety, especially online safety, is prominent in the news. So what reassurance do you want to give viewers and listeners that Meow will protect their safety? I'm sure you agree that it's an important question that will be top of the head in many people. What's your answer? Do you mean financial safety, or do you mean personal and let's dip into financial as well? You know, just a wraparound. Yeah, we're using Stripe as our card payment partner.
Yeah,
Right, partner.
yeah.
And they handle all of the financial record keeping and everything like that. That we don't hold any of that. We decided very early on that was the best route to take. Leave that responsibility with a trusted partner. The data on our platform is anonymized, so your personal data is not at risk. And that's the conversational stuff that we were talking about earlier. As far as personal safety goes on the platform, we've been very careful with that. And then going back to Stripe, by the way, we are going to be running a free trial starting not this Monday, but Monday after. And even though it will be a free trial, we are going to ask for a debit card or credit card detail at that point without charging. Purely for a security reason, so that we can identify anybody who misbehaves. I'll use the word misbehaves.
Yeah, I understand. But you can understand people being nervous. I mean, they already are in at a normal networking event, because you're suspicious, and until you start to trust somebody, you think, well, what they're after, what they're trying to con us into, what they're trying to sell us into.
Well, there's very little we can do to govern the actions you take after you've met somebody on Meow. But while you are on Meow, we have taken a great deal of care there. When you are, like I said, we ask for the credit card details, so that there is a genuine identity to hang that membership on, and prevent people, creating bogus accounts, that kind of thing.
I'm with you.
When you're in the platform, we have a report function which is easily accessible, and if anyone misbehaves again in a Meow, it is very easy to report them. And if 2 people report the same person in any one Meow, they're gone.
Yeah, excellent. I have to say, Simon, that your answers have been very clear and straightforward about the technical aspects of Meow. And congratulations on what you've created.
Thank you.
Yeah. Simon, many thanks. And now, with the power of technology, I'm going to leave you and go see Chris Rabbit. So here we are, by the power of technology, as I say, we've zoomed from Bradford to Leeds to meet Simon's co-founder, Chris Rabbit. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome. Thanks very much indeed, Malcolm. It's a pleasure to be on.
Delighted to chat with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with Simon about techie, but to you, we're going to chat about how you use Meow to build relationships in a meaningful and productive way. So, viewers and listeners, I'll be chatting to Chris about 3 things: why Meow is needed, especially by solopreneurs. How should someone go about making a genuine connection? And how does that connection then develop into a relationship? So, Chris, let's go to part 1 of those 3. Why is Meow needed in this present business world? What gap did you spot that needed to be filled?
Well, I think the whole genesis of where Meow came from was really to keep both Simon and my respective businesses going in the face of what we saw was an absolute disaster in the making in March last year. So we pretty much got we got all of our business, whether it be on the design and branding side for Simon or into my portfolio of sales director roles. Every single one of those came from networking or from word of mouth. Essentially from building relationships with people that you met through other people. And we just looked at that and thought, this is all going to come grinding to a halt. We both sat in those big Zoom rooms that were hastily chucked up at the start of lockdown, and essentially, sitting there like that on mute for 2 hours as a spectator. And I don't care who you are, nobody enjoys that.
No, quite agree.
So it served a purpose for people, and people felt it was still important to do it. But we just thought, no, there has to be a better way. So rather than trying to put the same old format into an online environment, let's do it better. Let's get the technology to make things better. And I think that's where Meow came from. And the reason behind the small rooms and the 4 people and the length of time that you spend is basically, we just worked out that 4 people in a room keeps the conversation flowing. You don't need to pedal it as hard as a one-to-one. Because sometimes I think we've all been there. It's one of those, in a one-to-one, you're like, good God, either please be quiet, or geez, what do I say next?
Or how do I get out of it? How do I get out of
absolutely.
it? Yeah.
And the thing is, we can't guarantee you're going to get on with everybody.
No.
It just doesn't work that way. But if there's 4 of you in a room, there's enough commonality between 4 of anybody to keep a conversation rattling.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, people on Meow talk about anything. It's not all just about business. It's not, oh, I have a problem with my accounting, I need to help out. No. It's, oh my God, I'm lonely here, or oh God, this is hard, or hey, I've got some success to share and I just can't tell anybody because I'm stuck at home. Or even actually, if you're not in lockdown, if the world is open and everyone can do everything we used to do, it still doesn't change the fact that being a solopreneur or a small business owner can be one of the loneliest things in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, what Meow does, and its only function, is whenever you would need it, whenever you would want it, whenever you would like it, it gives you access to an audience. It gives you access to a support network. It gives you access to a sounding board or some advice, or just someone to go and unburden yourself, if you like. And some of the best Meows I've ever been on are when people turned up and just went, hey, look, I really need some help here. And the power of random, the power of serendipity usually strikes when, I remember a young girl came on who just started a graphic design business and said, look, I'm desperate for some help with sales. And I was in the room. There was another portfolio sales director in the room, one of our hosts, a guy called Steve Potiphar, and a guy who did digital marketing.
Right.
And so we just rolled our sleeves up and went, right, let's get you sorted. And at the end, she's like, oh no, this has all just been about me. And we're like, no, God, no, we had fun. We enjoyed it. And I think, that's not painting us as particular saints or anything like that. It's just, and I've heard that story from a number of different people in a number of different situations. It's just, if someone comes on asking for help, then people will help.
Yeah, that give to get concept, isn't it? It's a really good, strong give to give. Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. I think, and another sort of bonus of the 4 people in the room is that if you try and sell, in a pushy or aggressive way in a Meow space, you're not going to get away with that. It's a situation where we simply don't have people on there pushing what they do. It's, hey, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I can do for you, how can I help? Well, by the way, if you want any of what I've got, let's talk about it in another space.
I was saying to Simon, I like that 4 concept you've just been talking about, because I've presented around the world, big network, connecting events with hundreds, if not thousands of people there, and you can only ever meet 5 or 6 people, can't you?
Absolutely. You get in the car for an hour, you drive to a networking event, you go pay for parking, you go stand in a room desperately trying to break into those little donuts of conversation that you see around the place. And how successful you're going to be, you don't know. But even in there, in an hour or 2, you're going to meet 3 or 4 people properly. If
That's
at all. Or you're going to be like a bee hopping between flowers and just taking a sip out of each one, and you're not actually going to meet anybody properly. And that's why I genuinely think this works, is that time is enough to get to know whether you want to get to know somebody better. Get to know whether, hey, do I like this person? Can I trust them? Do I actually think I might want to either work with them or introduce my connections to them?
Yeah. I tell you what also I like about me. I hope you don't mind me dotting around with it, because
By all means.
I like the fact that, a bit like what we're doing here on BBTV, we're meeting people from around the world. So last March, we, like you, started our BBTV network. We've just won most outstanding content production company, international content production company in the world, which is pretty good. And we've talked to 500 plus people, Hollywood stars, wherever it may be. I could never have done that beforehand, before all this come. But what that has also allowed us is to get out. I tend to think that networking can get very incestuous. You're meeting the same old people, the same old day, the same old time, talking about the same old thing. You become.
But I would argue that's not networking.
Yeah, I agree. It's not work. It's not working.
Marketing.
Yeah,
it's referral marketing, and it absolutely has its place.
Yeah.
If that format works for you, I think there are very few things that beat it in terms of a steady stream of new business. But what you don't get is a steady stream of new connections.
That's correct.
And that, for me, is, we're not promising new business. If you turn up, you bring your best self, you bring that how can I help you mentality, we know that good things happen.
Yeah.
We know that we've seen it. People have grown businesses entirely within Meow.
Yeah.
Steve Potterfar, the guy I mentioned before, he's got a super new concept called the Sales Gym. And what he does is he gets hold of people who are business owners who are not salespeople, because most business owners go into business to do the thing they are good at.
Yes, yeah.
Which is an accountant or a PA or digital marketing person or whatever. They're not salespeople.
Yeah.
And actually, what Steve does is gives them a really, really low impact way of just training up those skills. And he's got all his customers from Meow. And he's already said to me, when can I do my sessions in Meow?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, watch this space, that's coming. But it's a little bit down the line, yeah.
Well, no, I think there's huge extensions, as Simon was telling me. Okay, Chris, part two. Obviously, I see the need, and I know the need, and I also know the benefits of connecting, as I've taught it for years, I say, in workshops. But I also know the time that can be wasted in, let's not call it networking, let's call it not working. How does someone filter out the card sharps, the time wasters, and even the possible fraudsters?
Yeah, I think part of the way we ask people to register with the service almost takes care of that for us. In the way we ask you to register is whether you're on a free trial or not, is with your LinkedIn profile, and actually to register your card details. So as part of the trial. So we won't charge people once the free trial is finished. We're not in the business of, hey, we hope you forget so we can just pinch a month at the start. That's not what we're about. That credit card ties you to your LinkedIn profile, which basically gives our unmonitored, our self-regulated platform a degree of traceability, if you like.
Yeah.
So, nobody's going to be exposing themselves or putting anything unsavory on the screen, because, we can identify who that person is. But generally, I think the thing is there is no guarantee, and I can't offer one in terms of you will meet your dream date, if you like, on a Meow. What we tend to find, and this is only in my experience, what we find is the people on there are there to help.
Yes.
The people on there are there to make a connection. The people on there want to be involved with the other people in the community.
Yeah.
And that's what we're building, is a community.
Is it almost like self-policing? Hello.
Excuse me, everyone. This is the way we live now.
Yes,
Hello,
that's
Fred.
great.
Have you hurt yourself? Can you go find your mummy? Give us a kiss. Go on, son.
Now,
Take cheeky. Good boy.
we must tell viewers, who was that?
That was my little boy, Freddie.
And how old's Freddie?
Freddie is 3, and he'll be 4 in July.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Oh, well, happy birthday, the 4th of July and July. Okay, let's continue with that, because I think that what you've built in, and you remember, we're doing this quite deliberately, talking to Simon and you separate, you know, so that we can get the story. And what I see has come together is the integrity that you built into Meow.
Yeah, it has to be. I think when we were running our sort of proof of concept piece on Zoom and using Calendly and stuff to schedule, we had a wonderful army of volunteer hosts who essentially drove the meetings for us and made sure that the people in the meetings were safe. And that function, if you like, is now being performed by the platform.
You're right.
But the platform doesn't have the ability to react as quickly or to read the room and all the rest of it. So we have to build in a degree of security because we leave it up to the community to regulate themselves. There are ways to report bad behavior, but I'll be honest, we've run thousands of meows now. Even on the new platform, thousands of meows. And not the report button has not been used. So the thing is, what we see is a really, really good standard of, I hate using words like this, but a really good standard of behavior. Excellent. Everyone's there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's one of the reasons why we ask people to pay a little subscription is because we genuinely believe the platform has value. But in addition, you're less likely to, the people who would want to sabotage stuff are unlikely to want to pay for it, however little that might be.
Yeah.
So it's just layer upon layer of almost indirect and very light touch vetting that makes sure we get the right people into the space. And we're really, really pleased with how that's working.
Yeah, I totally applaud you with that. And that's one major encouragement for viewers and listeners to pop along to Wow. And Meow, now, just before we go into part 3, and it's the appropriate time just to remind people of the URL, which is currently, because we had breaking news before from Simon, but it's currently all the W's, MEEOW, Meow, MEEOW.co. But the breaking news from Simon was that you've secured the .com as well.
We have just bought the .com. My word, that was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was a really big deal. It was because we'd looked at it right from the word go, and I'll be honest, from a bootstrapped startup's perspective, I don't know what Simon did. Simon tell you how much?
Yes, it did, and I told him I banked that money. It took me a while to buy that in advance, you know. But I've done it.
Well, I'm glad we bought you a few drinks, Malcolm. It was a big and actually it was one of our investors. We've just closed a round. We've got a cracking team of investors on board. And one of the guys, the lead investor, actually just dropped me a message on WhatsApp and went, "What are we doing about the .com?" And I said, "Well, to be honest, Chris, because he's called Chris as well. It's $8,000."
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh," and he goes, "No, we need that. Go buy it."
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine. I need no more encouragement than that. So Simon and I did it together. Got on a call and like, right, let's go do it. And actually, we managed to get it for a little bit less than that, which was great.
Yeah, and good on the speculator as well. Okay, let's move to part 3 then, and the bit I've been looking forward to, and your thoughts on building genuine and mutually beneficial relationships, obviously, especially online. I know every venture has a risk, but surely there must be some fail-safe process to be learned to ensure that both yourself and your connectee are not only on the same wavelength, but also transparent with each other. Have you got any Chris top tips here? And especially how Meow helps?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I'm a guy who's grown all the businesses I've ever been in or owned through networking. It's something that not come naturally to me, but I'm one of these odd psychopath that enjoys walking into a room full of strangers and making a nuisance of myself.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that interaction, and that's no different online. But I think the key, really, networking is a very, very simple activity. It's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember that it's not about you, then you will be an infinitely more effective network.
Yeah.
So you walk into a space looking how you can add value to the people in the room, how you can help the people in the room. And most people walk up to another person and go, "Can you help me?" And if they can't help you, you walk away.
Yeah.
The right way to do it is, "Can I help you? And if I can't help you, then thanks very much. I'm going to go and find someone else that I can help."
I always say to people that salespeople go in as muggers. They're thought as muggers, aren't they, when they're going into a networking event? It's, I mean, give me.
But that's the fault of the people who send them there.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah.
I've run sales teams for 20 years, and strike me dead if I've ever said to a sales team I've ever run, "Go to a networking event and you better bring back some relevant business cards." It's like, oh, for the love of God, oh, drives me insane. Salespersons go in and say, "Hey, I talk to people all the time. Who can I put you in touch with in my network?" That's the way to go selling a networking event. Yeah. And it's you get the same. Well, sorry, you don't get the same results. What you get is people who walk away from a conversation with you going, "That guy said he was in sales," or "That guy's a recruitment consultant," or "That guy's a financial advisor," or an estate agent. I hate those people usually. All they want to do is sell to me. But this guy just wanted to know who I could put in touch with me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different. That's new. And I remember you for all the right reasons, rather than you go, "Hey, I'm a recruiter. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do that? I want to do that. Gimme, 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 gimme." And everyone remembers you through that guy. And you don't want to be remembered as that guy who cornered me and wouldn't let me go until I gave him a business card or said I'd have another meeting with him. And let's be honest, I use him because it's always guys, and or very, very, very overwhelmingly always guys.
I think it's that insecurity as well, you know, because I like you. I've talked to lots of people who've got sales bosses or sales directors who themselves are inadequate at connecting and say, you know, "How many did you meet? And who, you know, where's the cards? Give me the cards." Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't work in today's new relationship building, and especially buyers. Yeah, I do a lot of work with buyers and procurement in particular, and they don't want to know people who are there to sell. They want to know people who are going to build relationships, don't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we've been really, really clear right from the word go that we will try wherever possible to spend our money in terms of the services and products and stuff we buy to build Meow. We'll buy those within the Meowniverse.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So we our digital marketing guy, we met on a Meow. Our social media manager, we met her on a Meow. Our copywriter, who we use for some really, really technical, specific copy on the website for helping us close stuff, we met her on a Meow. You know, we meet great people all the time, and we try and work with the ones that we need to work with. And if we can't work with them, then, you know, Simon and I probably attend more Meows than anyone else. And it's like, well, hey, I met a great whatever this week. Who needs this? Because it's totally different if it's coming from a third party. It's like, hey, I've met someone who I really think is great. You know, does anybody need a, I don't know, sandwich maker or whatever, or a window cleaner, whatever it is? You should be championing other people, because you know full well if you do that, they will champion you.
Now, I know this
is what it's all about.
Yeah. Now, I know this goes totally against everything we've been talking about so far, Chris, but go on. You've got 30 seconds. Tell people how to get onto Meow.
Well, the link is just there, right next to you, Malcolm. Click it. We have a fantastic launch offer at the moment, which means you can get a whole year's worth of access to the platform for £20 or $30 or €30, depending on where you are. And then even when that finishes on Monday, so you've got 4 days to do that. And then on Monday, we should be changing over to our month's free trial, and then a subscription after that, which we think is going to be around £10 a month.
Okay, so I'll just remind listeners, by the way, Chris, that Meow is all the W's obviously, MEEOW.co, meow.co. Learning the art of connecting instead of impersonal, cold networking is a key business skill everyone needs, from the leader to the rawest recruit. In our altered business world, it's just got easier thanks to Simon and Chris, founders of Meow. Oh, and I must thank Freddie too. Chris, many thanks for your interview piece, and pass on my thanks to Simon.
Thanks very much indeed, Malcolm. It's been a real pleasure.